So there's this show called Rising, which is an internet show. It's produced by The Hill, and it's hosted by Krystal Ball and Sagar and Jetty, which I know I'm not saying his first name correctly. Sagar, but I think his last name's for sure and Jetty. So anyway,
I think you're doing great already.
and they do. She's a progressive. He's a conservative. I didn't even really know that. And they do a great show. So I've been a guest on that show many times. You know, Crystal's been on this show and our other show at the Young Turks, and we always liked her perspective. It's really strong. So they, I like to tease them that say that, how much longer are they going to let you do this show, right? Because they tell the truth on that show. But it looks like a news show, which you're not used to getting the truth from the news show. So that's why it's really different. So I like to tease them. And I like to say things like, wow, it looks like you guys look like a real news show. Anyway, so they do a great job, right? So they have this guy on. This guy, his name is Andrew Feldman, and it says he's a Democratic strategist. And so he comes on this show, Rising, and he does to what everyone else has been doing on every other news show, and it's always been met warmly, which is you red bait and you McCarthy smear Tulsi Gabbard, sitting congresswoman, first Hindu elected to Congress, and a currently serving member of the military. You say she's straight up Russian. You say she's a Kremlin puppet. You say all these horrible things that would never be allowed if it was anybody else. So the thing that they don't like about Tulsi Gabbard is she tells the truth about the military-industrial complex, and that's not allowed. And she tells the truth about the Democratic Party. That is not allowed. And so watch what happens, though. So here's how you're supposed to deal with it.
The electorate that is engaging online.
So watch what happens when he tries to do that on this show. So this is how all the other shows should watch this, and this is how you're supposed to deal with it. Here you go.
Of the electorate that is engaging online. Mm-hmm. We know from the viewers of this show that a lot of Tulsi Gabbard support, a lot of Andrew Yang support is within the online community.
Sure.
So that's not surprising to see that. At the same time, yes, Republicans want to support Tulsi Gabbard because she's going to be more favorable to Russia.
No,
no.
God.
You're
going to pull that on this show? Come on, man.
So look at how he's just laughing right in his face. I love that. He's just laughing right in his face. It's just great to see, right? So that's how a normal human being who's tethered to reality and has a sense of history reacts when someone does one of the most disgusting, despicable things you can do in American politics, which is a McCarthy smear of someone with a different opinion than you. That's what that is. And so they call it out, and it gets better. It keeps going.
Look, and I just want to be clear: these aren't the top line numbers.
Yeah.
This
No,
is
correct.
Just
This is on that issue of Trump.
Trump crossover voters.
Which doesn't surprise. It does not surprise me.
It's not about Russia. It's about the fact she's talking about ending endless wars. That's exactly what Trump ran on. That's what America First is.
It's not surprising that would have crossover appeal. The message of we've been fighting wars for 20. Wait, do you actually think that isn't a crossover message?
So on any other news show, it's the exact opposite. First of all, it's usually all four people joining in to do a McCarthy smear. I guess they've never seen that movie, Good Night and Good Luck. I guess they never saw that movie. But on this news show, it's three people, and they're laughing in his face. Like, you really don't think that's an appealing message, ending the wars? You don't think that has crossover appeal? You think the reason why that has crossover appeal is because the people it appeals to are pro-Kremlin? So that's perfect. And now Schlub over here, who now has now taken on the posture of a jumbo shrimp. He's been beaten down so badly. Will barely be able to make eye contact with his BS going forward. Watch this.
Yeah,
I don't. Poll, but do you not think
80% of the country is like, let's get out of Afghanistan?
Again, he can't even look up. I love it. He can't even. Come on, I say this on every other show and I get high-fived. What is wrong with you guys? What do you guys have? Integrity? What do you guys have? A consistent set of principles that you're applying to every situation? That's not how the news shows are supposed to work. You guys are consistent?
Yes, correct. Yeah. But the way Tulsi Gabbard wants to do that is putting our troops in harm's way.
Completely made up. Just said the way she wants to do it puts. Why would she want to do something? And the reason why she's against these wars is because she served in them and she saw the damage it does to our troops. Because she's a medic.
How?
When you look at her Syria plan, right? She's going to meet with Assad. When you're looking at meeting with dictators, that's just as bad as Trump meeting with the Turkish president.
Okay, so that's not that. How does that put our troops? It didn't say. He just said again the bullet smear points. He met with Assad. That's like that. That's like this. Well, how does that? What? You know who you make peace with? You make peace with your enemies. You have to make peace with your friends. That's who you have to meet with. Okay.
Let me ask you this. Did you support the Iraq War or not?
No.
No.
Yeah.
So, me neither. And if you don't support the Iraq War, what that means is that you believe Saddam Hussein, a brutal dictator who gassed his own people, should have remained in charge of that country. That is my position. That's Tulsi's position.
That doesn't mean
and
that
that's
I would
also
go.
her position in Syria. And her view is, and look, you don't have to agree with the view, but the view is you've got three choices. You can go to war, you can ignore, or you can engage diplomatically. She believes in engaging diplomatically, even with people who are awful, murdering, brutal dictators. So, look, you cannot think that that's the right approach. I think it's complicated, but you can't pretend that this isn't a principled view that she has consistently held, in spite of the fact that she has been smeared by everyone at every turn.
I'm not saying.
So that's what the establishment does. They smear you for having a principled stance, even if you're a veteran, even if you're a woman of color, even if you're a currently serving congressperson, even if you're on the Armed Services Committee, even if you have the highest security clearance you could have. If you go against the intelligence community, if you go against the military-industrial complex, if you go against some U.S. imperialism, you will immediately be smeared as a traitor to our country and a Kremlin puppet. And she's got it. And so now it's very popular. Everybody says they were against the Iraq War. Everybody says it now. And so, well, you got you either way. So if you're for the Iraq War, you're an idiot. We all know in hindsight. And you shouldn't be listened to. And if you were against the Iraq War in real time, then you're doing the exact thing that Tulsi Gabbard's doing here with Syria. Again, but they won't attack her policy. All they can do is smear her and do a guilt by association. You met with someone. Hey, this person likes you. It's never, I oppose Tulsi Gabbard because her foreign policy says this. It's never that. Because the people agree with her foreign policy. Just the establishment doesn't. Steph, anything you want to say about this?
Well, who doesn't like the moment when Krystal Ball seizes the opportunity to find consensus on the table?
Right.
I was against the Iraq War, and Andrew magically immediately is, right?
Oh, yeah.
And he has to kind of check his phone at that moment to make sure that he is. But how nice it is to have an intelligent point of view clarifying what Tulsi is doing right now, and that using actually discourse to appeal to his intellect without kind of admonishing him, but laying out the facts and saying, can you disagree with this? And somehow the guy is going to continue to do mental gymnastics to be able to frame Tulsi as something nefarious. Oh my God, Jimmy. When I was a high school English teacher, we talked about propaganda, and that was one of the lessons that you would teach while reading Animal Farm, propaganda. And the thing about propaganda is it's so nefarious, and it comes in different shapes and colors. And so everybody's saying, Tulsi, be careful of Tulsi, be careful of Tulsi. And at some point you go, why are they telling me that?
Yeah.
When she seems to be on the right side of history time and time again.
Right.
And she joined the military after 9/11 to help
fight terrorism, to help defend our country. That's what she thought. And now people say, well, why doesn't she quit the military. People say that, right? Which
Yes.
I think is a valid thing to say.
Absolutely, but she's a medic.
But my thing is she serves as a medic, which is different, right? She doesn't. She goes into combat zones, but she goes in as a medic, which I think is different. Anyway, so there you go. That's how you're supposed to handle this. That's how you're supposed to handle this. Now I'm going to move on and show you how MSNBC handles something like this. And even someone like Michael Moore, if he was sitting at that table, he would be this guy. You think I'm kidding? Watch my next video. Come see our live show. We're going to be in Honolulu on December 27th. We'll be in Portland, Oregon, and then we go to Tempe, Arizona, San Jose, California, Sacramento, Miami. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com for a link for all the tickets for all our live shows coming to a town near you, and become a patron or support the Jimmy Dore Show. We give you hours of bonus material every week. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com, become a premium member. Thanks for your support.